So I'm going to show you some examples of my work, but before we do that, I have two things to note that really helped with finding my style that I hope can help you as well. Hello, my friend. Thanks for being here. Do you struggle to know what your artist's style is? Like, what even is your style? I've definitely struggled with this. I used to have huge issues about not being consistent enough, not having a consistent art practice or a kind of conducive style that neatly wrapped it all up into a brand. Feeling like my work was really random. Like 1 minute I would be doing printmaking, the next minute I'd be doing drawing, the next minute I'm doing collage, I might be working on fabric, all kinds of different things, and I loved all of them. How could I just pick one to have one style? The great answer is you don't have to. You don't have to pick one thing. You can do all of those things. That can be your style. Your style is you. The consistency is you. As inconsistent and chaotic as you are, speaking for myself here. So I want to show you some examples in this video of some art that when I look back on it, I think, gosh, how are these even made by the same person? And trying to see it from a lens that isn't my own, trying to look at it from the outside view of somebody else. And I often think about, when you go to an art exhibition and they'll have, the body work of an artist's life work. And sometimes I will look at where they started and, as they grew and where they got to and think, gosh, I'm saying gosh so many times, but just how different where the artist started from to where they ended up, or the different periods that they went through and how different they actually look. And I find myself realizing, if I didn't know this was just one artist, I would think that it maybe was completely different artists. And that helps to blow my theory of trying to be consistent and like a brand out of the water. I think I can get really trapped in the capitalism way of having a brand that sells and everything having to be branded. This is my marketing background coming out in me. But having everything where it's like the same colors or the same logos constantly, or having the same phrases, things like that, where everything has to be the same. The reason for that in marketing is usually to give your customer that security and sense of certainty. Like they know who you are, they know what they're going to get when they buy that product. But it's different with art. It's different with artists because you're a literal real person. You're not a product. And we change on the daily. Lots of things are going on all the time. That's the whole point of art, is that it's an expression of our chaotic, busy, wild, amazing lives. And that is what people buy into when they're buying your work. They're buying into you and what you see and the world through your lens. So I'm going to show you some examples of my work, but before we do that, I have two things to note that really helped with finding my style that I hope can help you as well. The first thing is to do, just like what we were talking about, create a series of things. So creating more of an exploration phase when you're making your work instead of one-off pieces. So that's definitely where I would start. I would hardly create. Then when I did create, I would just do one thing. I would need it to be absolutely beautiful and perfect masterpiece. And then I wouldn't do anything for another couple of weeks. And it's really hard to build your style or find your style when you're only showing up every now and then, or you're trying to create it all in this one time. Finding your style, unfortunately, comes through building it, through exploration, through discovery. So the next time you have an idea for your drawing, your painting, your embroidery, whatever it is, sit down, create the piece, great. But then can you do that again tomorrow, but try do the exact same thing, or try and do something with one tweak slightly different, or try and recreate the idea in a different way. Challenge yourself to time block it and create a series of, say, 5 pieces where you show up for 5 days in a row, do a piece each day within the same theme that you're working with, within that same idea. And maybe it's just that you really want to work with the color green. How can you use green today? And how you use green today might be different to how you use green tomorrow. And maybe it is a whole bunch of different media. Maybe day 1 is a painting, day 2 is embroidery. It doesn't matter, but the theme there is being explored and it helps give you more ideas. And annoyingly, the more you do, the more ideas you get. Just remember that. The second thing I find that really helps me when I'm trying to find my style is to put artwork on the wall or somewhere where you can see it. Whatever you're creating, put it somewhere where you can see it together. So obviously my work is quite small, so I can put it together quite easily. So it might be different if you're working with really large scale paintings. But putting it in a space where you can see all of the art housed together, so you get to see it as a collection. It helps you to get really familiar with your style, because the more you see what you're creating, no matter how random it is or how chaotic it is, the more you familiarize yourself with seeing it as a collection or seeing it all together, it starts to feel like your style. It starts to be like home to you. Ironically, you'll probably start to see a lot of similarities within the work, or you might start to see things that you hadn't seen before and think, oh yeah, I remember doing that on day 1. I'd like to try that particular line again. Or something that you did on day 7, you might think, actually, I never want to use that color again. It really irks me every time I see it. So you are starting to pinpoint and tweak your style because you're pulling out different things from what you've already done. You are helping yourself to develop your style. So let's have a look at a range of works that I've done. I want to start with comparing, say, these two where, I mean, they're very similar because they're both black and white line drawings, but this one was when I had less time and I had more time. So they do appear to have very different styles, but really it's just kind of how much time have you got. Same with if we look at these two, you know, they're made by the same person, but this one's in pencil. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I don't usually draw in pencil. And then this is a collage completely with a little bit of drawing here. So the style of person even looks different. Seeing those side by side in a gallery, for example, I would think that they were different people who'd made them. Again, collage and drawing. Collage and drawing again. But I've done a wee bit of drawing in this one, so I think the good thing about drawing is nobody can change your hand. You know, like it's always going to be your hand drawing is very recognizable once you do a lot of it. Even just this compared to, say, what we were looking at before, it just seems so different. Like this has no drawing, it's just paint and writing. Whereas here we've got pencil, drawing. Like they're very different to each other, but it was how I needed to express myself at the time. So the consistency is in the expression. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. I hope this has given you some inspiration to even just remember that your style comes through discovery, it comes with time, and it's really about relaxing into the process and enjoying that journey rather than trying to get to this end point where you have your style, because spoiler alert, your style is always evolving. Just like you're always evolving. You're never a finished product. That's not the goal here. The goal is to enjoy each moment that you're in. So enjoy the artwork that you're making today, and then take what you do and don't like, take what you do like into tomorrow, and leave what you don't like here today. If you're keen to learn more about how to draw for 100 days and what that journey was like for me and how I got through all of the trials and tribulations that come with having to show up for yourself consistently when you don't identify as a consistent person. I made a book, so it's from my exhibition. If you're interested, grab a copy of the ebook below. If you're still here, I'm working on a secret project and it's involving these little plates. I'll show you in another video, but that's a really random artwork to go with this video, just to prove how inconsistent it is okay to be as an artist. You can paint plates and do drawings on paper and still be the same artist. Turns out.